What's going on, guys? Sinister here, back with another Smite video, and we are covering patch notes 4.1, the start of season 4, and this patch is huge. Like, I don't even know where to start. I mean, you can see the little bar I have here. I mean, this video is gonna be long, so sit tight, grab some popcorn, grab Mountain Dew, get ready because it's gonna be long. They said it is the largest patch they have ever had, so I mean it makes sense. It is the start of the new season, so those are always gonna be big, but this is the biggest they've ever had. So, the patch note show took 3 hours and 17 minutes, and it's 42 pages. And I'm just burning time here, so we're gonna get into it. Vamana gets a visual update. His character model was updated. Wow, I didn't see the beginning of these. That is amazing. I actually love that. That is so cool. He's still a short, but he's not like a little baby, but that is amazing. Wow, I'm a Vamana player, so that's cool. I love that. And of course he does get updated mastery skins. That looks amazing. Wow, okay, that's great. I'm super hyped for that. And of course this is his Divine Protector. That's so cool. New voice pack too, so we're gonna jump into that in a later video to test it out and everything. But yeah, cool. Updated masteries for him as well. New god skins. We got such cold. Oh no! Oh my god! What is this? I haven't seen this one. Oh my gosh, a kawaii skin, but it's Doge. That is amazing. Oh, I know that's gonna be an expensive skin. That's actually really cool. I've never been a fan of the kawaii skins, but
You got this, Doge!
So strong, Scotty-chan.
oh my gosh, that's great. Vamana doesn't have voices. New Scotty skin. We got a modern. Oh, I thought that was Mercury. It's Mercenary Nemesis. That's actually pretty cool. Wow, these skins are amazing. These are tier 4. I mean, they're completely visual updates, so that's cool. Wow, that Xingqian school is wow, alright, that's amazing. I don't play much Xingqian, even though I am a support. If I play him, it's usually more of like a warrior or like a solo laner, but wow. That is crazy. Energy gets Ao Kuang skin, way to go adapting. It's actually a really cool skin, at least the card art. I mean, it's going to be basically the same god, but the card art's really cool. And Nike gets her mastery skins, of course. They're actually really cool. Her wings change, so they're blue on the golden, they're black on the legendary, and the diamond's amazing as well. Uller also gets updated masteries. He looks cool. He's virtually the same because he is decked out in so much gear, but, his face and stuff is updated, so, of course. We also have Undying Chests. Full Metal Vulcan. That's pretty cool. Pair him with, like, an Ares, with the War Ares, that'd be cool. So that is a very cool skin as well. Encore Agni. This kind of just looks like, oh, this is like a recolor of Triumphant Agni. So that's kind of cool. Not a big fan of that one, to be honest. We have Dragon's Bane. Uller always, I think he has some of the best skins. That actually looks like Wormslayer, but again, a recolor. So I'm seeing a theme with that. Agony Bellona, again, which is Torment, but like a recolor. So I don't know what they're doing with those, but... And then we got Pterodactyl Camazotz, again, which is the Pterodactyl, but a recolor, and they just changed the name of it. Okay. Oh, Pterodactyl. I got it. We have Idusa Elite. So again, the Idusa, but it's an elite version. So most of these skins are recolors of skins they already have. But I mean, they're not bad. I like Wormslayer better. I like Triumphant Agni better. The Agony's pretty cool with the blue. But I mean, for the most part, these skins though, the Xingqian, the Nemesis, and the Scotty, and the Vamana looks so amazing. Like that, I cannot wait to play some more Vamana. I stopped playing them for a little while, but I'm going back. I've been playing a lot of Nike when I play my Warriors, Nike and Wukong. Doge Avatar, of course, with the new Scotty skin. Vulcan gets a dance emote. And this is a new thing. Global emotes and recallers. When you get, for every god you have Mastery 10 rank Diamond, you get an additional, it's like every, I don't want to say like 20 gods you have Diamond or something, you get a recall effect. And once you have 80 gods mastered, that's the top one right now. So 80 gods rank 10. So 80 diamond gods. I don't think there's anyone to there. There's a couple people that are close. They mentioned that they met at the Smite World Championship that are really close to 80 gods diamond. So they're amazing at this game. You get a recall effect, and once you get 80 gods diamond, it's like you're in cased in diamond, and it looks really really cool. So when you see that and someone's recalling and that has on the ground, you know they're legit. So that's really cool. Something they added to it. And another thing they added was the more worshippers you have with a diamond god, it'll be shown on the loading screen. So let's say it's for every 1,000 extra worshippers, you get a star. So let's say you're diamond Sasano, I don't know, and you have 2,000 extra worshippers with him past the max rank, you're going to get 2 stars. So it'll be right next to your little X for the mastery rank 10. And it just shows you that you play that god a lot. So I think the most they've seen so far, they did the research, is someone has 40 extra stars with him, and you can't even see the decks. It's just all stars. So that shows you that they play that god a lot. So not only are they diamond with him, but they play it excessively past diamond rank. So that's something cool that you can work for too. It gives you something to work on your diamond gods. You know, I know with me, I get them diamond, and I'm like, all right, I'm done. I don't want to play him anymore. So this gives you something to work for. And season ticket 2017, of course, they changed this a bit. You do not have to pay for the season ticket this time. It's free. You earn fantasy points towards your rewards. However, you can purchase it for instant unlocks and extra stuff. So it's optional whether you want to buy into it, you know, for gems. And they are splitting it up into 3 different season tickets. So you don't have to pay for any of them, like I said, and you can earn things. They split it up in the fall split, the spring split, and then at the end of the year, kind of like they do with, with the regular tournaments. And that's a new ticket, new purchasable things each time. They haven't really explained a lot. They're going to go more in depth later, but there's 3 different tickets that you can buy throughout the year. It's all going to go on the same reward system. It's just 3 different extra times you can buy stuff, basically. And they added new loading frames as well. For ranked, there's Diamond Conquest, Joust, Masters Conquest, Joust, and Platinum Conquest and Joust. So loading frames for those. And they also brought Masters back. So it's Diamond, Masters, and Grandmasters for all ranked games, Conquest, Joust, and Duel. The Grandmasters are the top 25 players. So Masters and Grandmasters essentially are going to be the same, but if you're on Grandmasters, you are a top 25 player in the world at the respected game modes you are playing. Another thing to work towards. Diamond Master Recall, I just went through those. Diamond Master, Diamond Student, and Diamond God. So that's, again, what I mentioned before with the 80 Gods Diamond. New Wards, Energy gets a ward for their amazing performance in the World Championship. Morgan gets her achievements here. Really cool. As Morgan transforms into an enemy god and kill the god he transformed into, so that'll be really cool. And this one seems pretty hard, as Morgan hit 3 enemy gods at the same time with 3 aspects ability. So that takes a while to charge up. You're going to really have to go in balls to the wall to get that, but it's whatever. Okay, so this is where all the changes come in. Like I mentioned, the diamond count, I kind of skipped ahead there because I didn't know if they added in here and I didn't want to forget it. The diamond count and receive rank 10 on multiple gods will unlock recall effects, getting more impressive as your diamond count gets higher. So we went into that. And the bonus stars as well for every 1,000 worshippers attained. The T screen. When you're in game, you can hit T. It'll show, or no, this is something else. T screen shows top kills, gold, damage. The top of the screen, additionally, the screen serves a new goal combat log. Okay, yeah, so this is like a combat log. If you really want to get in depth with the combat log, you don't know what you were hit by last time, you got a big chunk of your health, you can hit T and it'll show you what you were last hit by. Just something they added in, extra features. Season 3 ranked rewards. Players who are at gold 5 or higher will receive the Tyrant Shing Tin skin. So, wow, this is a long patch notes. That one? Oh, that's, yeah, Iron Tyrant. So, that's going to be a bonus for ranked. You can't just purchase that. I did not know that, and I'm kind of bummed. Where are we at here? You need to be gold 5 or higher on January 31st, 2017. So this is for this season. Okay, so if you haven't been grinding, no point in getting this now. Players who are platinum 5 or higher will receive a loading frame that is representative of their achievements. You will need to be platinum 5 or higher by January 31st. And the Shingchen Iron Tyrant. Iron Tyrant loading frames for Diamond Conquest Joust. So all that's going to be for Season 3. It's ending. If you haven't played rank, don't worry about this. If you are close to Platinum or close to Gold, whatever, this is going to correlate to you. You might want to read into that to get your rewards. Season 4 rank update. All ranked MMR values have been reset. So, of course, it resets after this. Updated qualifying. The placement algorithm is updated. It's going to represent their skill better rather than like win loss and stuff like that. It's going to still be a factor, but they're going to try to represent it a lot more. There are multiple splits. I'm not going to read into great detail about this. You can pause this because I don't want this video to be like 3 hours long. So you can pause this if you want. I'll try to get it at a right angle and read into this. You know, lobby timers are updated. One thing I will mention, and you can keep it right here. They updated like god selection. So if you pick a god really quick or you ban a god really quick, that's going to be bank time. So like later on in the god selection and god banning phase, you'll have some bank time that went over into that. So you have a little extra time later on, to ban gods and pick gods and stuff like that. That's a really cool feature. Leaderboards and stuff, you can see who the top gods are. You can see who is the best at that god, so you can go and check. So you're a really good Thor player, you can go and check the Thor players and see who's the top at them and see if you're one of the best and stuff like that. So they added a lot of cool things with that. And you can pause again and look at these if you want to. And the low population, this is another important one I'm just going to mention. If you're in a low populated region, like say you're playing in Ghana, West Africa, I don't even know if they have internet there, but if you're playing at 4 in the morning and there's nobody else in the world playing in that region, once the time limit passes, they will put you in another region with as similar as they can get with elo and ping and stuff like that. So that's cool that they did that. Season ticket, here we go. The spring split version. Purchasing the season ticket, of course, you get once you purchase it. So you don't have to buy it. You can just play and get fantasy points for free. But if you buy it, you get the Modern Mercenary Nemesis, so that Nemesis skin at the top. You have the ability to vote for fantasy points. That was another thing. If you don't buy it, you can't vote on games. But if you buy the season ticket, then you can vote to earn more fantasy points and stuff like that. You get a permanent fantasy point booster, so you start off with probably like, 1,000 fantasy points or something like that. 15 team worshiper boosters. I'm not quite sure what that is. In the match lobby, players can activate these boosters. Oh, that's right. So you can activate boosters and give like double worshippers to your team. I'm not crazy about that. I hate double worshippers. Just because I'm a stats person and I don't like my stats to be messed up. I have like 200 kills at level 7 and it's just meh. And bundles of quests that will give up to 1,500. Okay, so you can unlock different quests when you buy it. So buying the season ticket is honestly worth it. You don't have to, and you can still gain rewards, but you just get extra stuff and extra fantasy points when you buy it. Which makes sense. You're rewarded for paying for stuff because it is a free game. Unlocked through Fantasy Point Unlocks. This is the one that is free to all players. You get Cutesy Chest, Enigma Chests, Recall for the Spring Split, Loading Frame for the Spring Split, another Enigma Chest, an Undying Chest, Cutesy Global Emote, Never Cake Announcer Pack, everyone was wanting that, another Enigma Chest, and Swarm Sentry Amazen Cob. They are still working on the design for this. It is going to be available next patch actually, but they have kind of a base design of what it's going to be, and it looks super, super cool. And they're still working on, actually making the model. Undying Chest content where you can get from here is the Full Metal Vulcan, the Encore Agni, Dragon's Bane Uller, Agony Bologna, Pterodactyl Camelzots, and I do say Elite. So all the recolors of skins they already have are going to be in the Undying Chests. We still have a lot to go. Oh my gosh. Clash map update. I already went over this in another video, but I will probably make another video either later today or tomorrow going through the Clash map so you can actually see that yourself. But the new art style, it's Egyptian theme. The Titans are new, minions are new, towers are new, the Phoenixes are new. They send out a steady laser beam that kind of steady damages you rather than your typical tower shot. There are no more damage camps. Actually, I take that back. There is a damage buff in the center of the map until the new boss comes, and we'll get into that. There are no more harpies. It's just a mana buff. So there are 2 mana buffs per side now, which is really cool. That allows for more people to get the mana buff, which is a highly thing that's fought over in Clash. Adjusted outer paths, new paths to center area, and widened center area. So there's going to be a lot of combat going in the middle of the map this time, rather than just 2 lanes, kind of. New jungle boss. Okay, this is what I was talking about. In the middle, after the damage buff, there's no more Fire Giant, by the way. I don't think there's any more Gold Fury either. There might be, I'm not sure. Yeah, it replaces the Fire Giant and Gold Fury. So no more Fire Giant, no more Gold Fury. After, I think, about 10 minutes, the Apophis spawns in the center. It's similar to the Fire Giant, but it's this big snake creature. It has 3,200 health, and you can see all the stats here. Spawns in the center map, yeah, 10 minutes. Massive damage, knocks back enemy gods upon spawning. So keep that in mind. If it's spawning and you're in the center of it, you're gonna it deals I think it said like 1,000 damage or something like that in the patch notes when they were going over it, so it does a lot of damage. So don't be anywhere near this when it spawns. Provides a buff to the killing team. This buff becomes more powerful later into the game. Grants bonus magical power and physical power. Enemy gods hit by your abilities take damage equal to a fraction of their health over 4 seconds. Not current health, max health. Wow. So being in the center of a map, of course, that's going to make that more fought for, but that is crazy. That is a great boss that makes Clash more interesting. You know, it's not just a wannabe Conquest. This is really a whole new game mode in itself with a new boss and everything. So very cool. As someone who plays a lot of Clash, I like that. Yeah, new gameplay changes. Like I said, the new Phoenixes, much higher attack speed but lower base damage. It's basically just a constant beam. It's like an Anubis ult that just constantly hits you, but of course it doesn't, hit you like an Anubis ult. Characters for the red buff and blue buff holders, they did update that. They look different. I kind of forget what they look like, but when I do a video of the Clash map, you'll be able to see that. So you gotta subscribe to keep in tune for that. Look at that self-advertisement. Kill bounty changes. For experience, you get an additional 20% XP based on level difference. So I'm not quite sure what that means or how that'll play into it, but we'll see. Smite Season 4 Conquest map update. Again, I already made a video about this, kind of going into minor detail of the changes, but we're going to get into greater detail now. The jungle paths have small adjustments. They've been made to equalize time and distance between objectives on order and chaos side of the map. So, I mean, you can see that the map's virtually the same, but minor adjustments. They can no longer see into the camp from mid lane. Players can no longer see into the camp from mid lane. Oh, I see. You see how these mid lane points are very, very small now. So you can't check into the lane and see if, your speed's getting taken or something like that. That's cool. That makes mid lane actually a lot more dangerous because you can get ganked a lot easier. You're going to have to ward. These are going to be big focal points, even more than last season for warding. Both order speed camp and order in the chaos damage camp see a change to their geometry and leash to shift time it takes to reach mid lane. Okay, so again, just minor map changes to make everything equal, I guess. Game start changes. Game starts at minute 30. Minions spawn at 0. Okay, so rather than the minions spawning at like 10 seconds into the game, oh no. Ooh, that's different. I didn't actually read into that. Minions are going to spawn, so the minions will start coming into the game at 0 seconds, as soon as it starts. The entire jungle, though, isn't going to spawn until 30 seconds later, so that's going to be a new start for junglers. You're not just going to go to speed and the mana right away, because it's going to be 30 seconds for it to get there. So you're going to have to go to lane first, I think. I could be completely reading this wrong, because I missed this part of the patch note show, but I think that's what that means. So jungle is completely different this season. Based on updates, we'll go down further into the game. Or into the patch, I should say. For experience, you get 10 additional XP based on the level difference. So killing people gives you more XP. Thank God. That is something I stressed so much. Because I know there was a game where you can check, and I might put that link in the description just so you can see how weird it was, where we invaded as a Relics and Odin, and I got 5 kills in like under 2 minutes. So I should have been like fed and everything, but my mid laner got to level 10 before I did. And by like 8 minutes, I had like 10 kills or something like that. Like and I wasn't the highest level in the game. They didn't reward you for killing. You got gold, but the XP just wasn't there. So that's going to be cool. I like that. Minion and jungle changes. The swordsman, XP decreased on the camps. Archers, oh no, this is just minions. So swordsman, you get less XP. Archers, you get less XP, and brutes, you get less XP. So less XP from killing the minion waves. You're not going to see solo laners hit level 20 like 3 hours before everybody else. The jungle camp monsters. There is a new buff, I should add, which is what attack speed used to be. So basically, like the start of Season 3, all the camps are the same. You got speed and mana. They eventually took speed out, brought it back. You got damage, and the new buff, they had attack speed, but they brought it back. This isn't attack speed, though. We'll get into this later. Jungle HP scale double. So these are just issue fixes. Boars, they removed them. They added the new one, which we'll get into. Actually, I'll do that right now. It's a Cyclops Rogue. XP value set at 160, gold set to 60, base health 790. All this drops a purple buff. The purple buff, enemy gods within 55 units have their magical and physical protections reduced. So, this could be given to the hunter, but it is going to be given to the support more than likely, because the support's going to be in there in the fight. So this is a support buff. As a support player, I like this. I like being able to pick buffs. So yeah, that's going to be really cool. Now imagine areas with this, and then areas with full aura, because aura, we're going to keep this in mind. Aura items are a big thing in this season. There's a lot of new aura items, a lot of aura changes. So I'm curious to see what areas can do with all these things, because it could be very scary, especially for a really scaled Ares player who can hit his change in succession. That'll be interesting. The Cyclops small rogues, of course, just the lesser minions. Okay, these Elder Harpies give you more XP, they give you more gold, they have their base health decreased and health per minute decreased, so as well as the Elder Harpies. So the Harpies, which are going to be the only quote-unquote camps, these mid Harpies and the Harpies over here, they're going to give you more XP, because they're the only, true camps other than the damage buffs and stuff like that. So they're trying to focus the junglers on being what they are, and that's a jungler, being in the jungle. And you'll see changes to Bumba's Mask later that kind of correlate with that, and I'll go over a brief overview. Bumba's Mask isn't going to give you max gold when you split the camps, so you're not going to feel guilty as a jungler when you take the camps by yourself. This season is focusing on the junglers doing that, and that's jungling. So you get more XP when you kill the Harpies and stuff like that, so that's something interesting to keep an eye on. Damage, speed, and mana. XP is increased for those, the base health is decreased, and the health per minute is decreased on all of them. Fire Elementals, which is the new camp, kind of. Base health decreased, health per minute decreased. So everything is easier to kill in the jungle now, which again is going to make the jungler stay in the jungle. New buff, or new camp called the Elder Elemental. XP, gold, all of this. And we went over this before. What it does, it is right here. It's where the fire minions and stuff like that were. It's a big buff. It's actually like the size of God, so it's big. You'll be able to see it. Once you kill that buff as a team, a little portal spawns right here. That portal allows you, let's say you back. Let's say you're, over here and you back. You can walk right through the portal, which will be right here, and it'll teleport you here. So if you're confident in your team's ability to capture these fire elementals, you don't have to buy teleport as a soul laner. You don't have to. It's still going to be a good idea, but with future relics that I'll get into, you still don't have to. So teleport's not going to be seen as much, and it'll allow mid laners to get right back into there. So that'll be cool. But you could take advantage of this. If you see their mid laner backing, and you know they have the portal and they're going to use it, you can kind of camp that and wait for them. So not always the best idea to use that. It'll be a strategic thing if people can really counter that. It'll be interesting to see. The Oracle Harpies. This is 2 Harpies that are at... I'm just going to kind of scroll down and read this right here for you. 2 Harpies at the Gold Fury. Now, when you kill them as a team, you have to kill both of them as a team. If you kill one and the enemy team kills one, nothing happens. If you as a team kill both of them, you get a ward there for a certain amount of time. It's just a ward, but this ward can't be countered by sentry wards. You can't kill it. So it's a permanent ward for a certain amount of time. If you get both kills, like I said, it says here, neither team gets vision if the kills are split. Does not reveal wards nor stealth units. So really all this is going to do is just tell you if people are nearby. If they're stealth, you can't see them. If they have wards there, you can't see them. So this is just a ward that cannot be destroyed, basically, if you kill these 2 Oracle Harpies. Spawns in at 30 seconds, and it respawns every 3 minutes. The Portal Demon is a new boss I just went over. You can see the base stats here. Crossing the Fire Giant spawns at 10 minutes, so it spawns the same time Fire Giant does. It respawns every 5 minutes. The portal, one way, team's base, Fire Giant, and it lasts for 1 minute. So it doesn't last for a long time, but I mean it's still helpful. I'm really curious to see how this plays in though, because like I said, for the mid laner to get right back to lane will be interesting, especially for someone who doesn't have to leave lane very often, like Chang'e or something like that, which I don't really know who plays Chang'e mid anyway, but. Alright, changes to the Gold Fury. Increased starting gold rewards when killing the Gold Fury. So if you kill the Gold Fury early as a team, which is something you want to do, you always want to get the Gold Fury when it's up. you get rewarded more for killing it early. Late game it's going to be the same, but if you get it an early kill in the Gold Fury as a team, it's going to give you more gold, so you're going to be set more. Increased starting gold from 150 to 190. Decreased gold reward increased per minute from 10 to 8. Base health decreased, and the health per minute increased, actually. So it's going to get stronger as the game goes on. You're going to get less gold as the game goes on. So later on, Gold Furies are going to be harder and less rewarding. So early Gold Furies are going to be the key here. Fire Giant has his base health decreased from 7,000 to 3,750. So 10 minutes. Once 10 minutes comes around, you want to rally your team, get a couple kills, and go to the Fire Giant. It's almost twice as easy to kill, and it gives you the same stuff. So Fire Giant's going to be key, but its health per minute is increased from 130 to 520. So the longer the game goes on, it's going to be harder and harder, which is, that's how it always is, but they're just amping how much health they gain with these two bosses. So that's really cool. Consumables. All right, now this is where we get into very interesting things. New item called Consumables. They are called rituals. These rituals are only usable after level 10, and you can only use them once you purchase them. They cost around 750 gold for each one. So it's like a health pot. You purchase it, you get a one-time use. It provides a single-use relic or ability-like effect, grouped with potions of might and elixirs and all that. First one, Flickering Ritual. When activated, it teleports you to a ground target up to 55 units away, can be used in combat. Basically, this is combat blink. This is going to be good on supports. Let's say you are Ares. Let's say you're Ares, and you buy Flickering Ritual 750. I know what happens with me. You're about to blink in, and you get hit by a minion. And it's like, really? Now I got to wait that extra 2 seconds? Use your Flickering Ritual. You're probably not going to want to use it in a situation like that, but it'll allow... You'll probably see this on a lot of, assassins as well, to get in there and get the kill. And if you use your initiation, like say you're Loki and you go invisible to get the kill, you have no way to get out now. You can use the Flickering Ritual to blink out after you get the kill. So really cool ritual there. Next one is Frenzied Ritual. Frenzied Ritual is also 750. When activated, it buffs allies within 55 units of the user, increasing their damage output and increasing their attack speed. So this is basically Frenzy. And I think Frenzy is removed as well, so keep that in mind. This is basically Frenzy. Rallying Ritual. When activated, it teleports you to an allied god of your choice. After 4 seconds channel time, it can be interrupted by hard CC, and the ritual is lost. So this is basically a teleport and Athena's ult combined. That's basically what it is. It's a teleport Athena ult, but it can be interrupted by hard CC, and if it is, you lose it. So you basically lose 750 gold. Now these are very rewarding, but it's a high risk, high reward, because they are expensive. 750 gold isn't cheap for a one-time use thing. If you mess it up and it doesn't pay off, like you combat blink and you get killed and then your team gets killed, you basically just wasted your gold. So these are really cool aspects that they added. This one is Revealing Ritual. This is another really good one. When activated, it provides your entire team with vision of the entire enemy team, revealing locations and revealing wards within 70 units of you. So this is basically a Nuwa ult for 5 seconds. And you can reveal wards around you. So this will be key for counter warding. If you think they have it warded up by the Fire Giant, you can use this at Fire Giant, see where the wards are at, and then you can get a sentry and counter ward it. So very cool. I like these ritual ideas. High risk, high reward makes it more strategy based. You have to really think about what you're going to buy. There's not just standard, but there's no more standard items. There's no more standard starts at all, and you'll see that later. There's no standard builds, no standard relics you get, because you can get these rituals now. So I'm loving Season 4. I think it is amazing. And like they said in the patch notes, be sure to play the PTS guys, because they need to get bug fixes. It's 2 weeks this PTS is up. They need to really make changes, so they need your help. They need all of our helps, because this is a lot of stuff. Chalices, new consumables. These are, I went into these before. They work like a stack of potions. They're refilled every time you go to base. Can be found grouped with normal wards and regeneration potions. Selling these yields no gold. So you can't sell them. You can sell them, but you don't get any gold back. It costs 300, gives you 3 stacks. Heals 250 over 25 seconds, 150 over 25 seconds for mana, and you also have one that acts as wards. So this will eliminate you buying wards, buying potions every time you back. It just cuts the time down from the time you back to where you can leave base, you know? Which is really cool. They are more expensive than normal, and you can't stack these. So you can't just, you know, click this 3 times and have 75 seconds. It doesn't work. You cannot stack these. These are a cool aspect. The ward one, I think, is going to be used the most. That's, you know, you always want to buy wards when you back, so that'll be cool. Potions are updated. Increase the duration of the magical and physical might by 2 minutes. So you see those updated. Relics. Okay, they reorganized the relic tab. The descriptions are all updated. And they can be upgraded too. I went into this before in a previous video. You can now upgrade relics at any time on the map or any time in the game, but only in your fountain. So anytime you want, spend 500 gold to upgrade them, and you get bonus abilities on all the relics. Frenzy removed. Like I said, that is up here. That's, what is it? Frenzied Ritual. Scout removed. That's the ward one, the one that gives you vision of alt, the new alt, basically. So these 2 relics have been removed from the game. And I just kind of spoiled it. Fans of old Smite, and I didn't even play Smite in like Season 2 and stuff, but I, just by watching videos and watching pro players, you get used to calling them by their original names. You know, I never called it Sanctuary. It was just Aegis to me, you know? It was beads. It wasn't Purification. They brought the names back. So, Classic Smite coming in. Aegis Amulet is back. No more Sanctuary. Can be upgraded. And once you upgrade it, it decreases the cooldown by 30 seconds. So, they're not like huge upgrades. Most of them are cooldowns, but it's something to invest more gold into. Blink Rune, formerly known as Blink. And they updated most of the card art. Not card art, but, you know, the images, which is really cool. I mean, it's something just cool to add. Reduces the cooldown by 30 seconds once you upgrade Blink. Cursed Ankh, previously known as Cursed. Previously known as Curse. So this is Weakening Curse, or Weakening, whatever you're used to calling it. It increases the healing reduction it does by 5 seconds. So when you pop this, you get 10-second healing reduction to enemies nearby, but it no longer slows. So this isn't a slow anymore, but that'll be later. Don't worry about that. So 5 seconds increased on the healing reduction. The healing reduction, once you upgrade it, increases by 15% and to 15 seconds. So if you have an upgraded Cursed Ankh, they have 65% reduced healing for 15 seconds. That is big. That's a whole team fight. That's more than a team fight of that relic. So these are the relics and rituals are going to be heavy in Smite Season 4. That is a big update they focused on. Hand of the Gods is back. It's the same as Wrath, but they went back to Hand of the Gods, which is really cool. So Hog is back. You don't got to call it Wrath anymore. This has changed a lot too. It now deals 300 damage plus 10 per level to a single enemy minion or jungle monster within 10 units. Target the highest with max HP. The relic's cooldown will be reduced by 30 seconds if you kill a jungle mob with it. Deals no damage to jungle bosses though. So you can't use this on Fire Giant anymore. You can't use this on Gold Fury. So you're going to be seeing less Hand of the Gods because that was a big thing. Even supports would get it last season once they upgraded it. The upgraded version now stuns enemies. So this is essentially the same item as it was yesterday, but it can't kill jungle bosses, and you have to upgrade it to get the stun. So you're going to be seeing a lot less of this. It's still helpful, just it's not an automatic buy for junglers like it was at some point. Junglers who struggle with clear, like Ao Kuang, they might be able to still make use of this, but you're just not going to see it all the time. Heavenly Wings. Heavenly Wings is back. Or Heavenly Agility, I guess they changed it. But it was Sprint before. Of course, they changed the way it looks. Now, only cleanses slows upon activation, does not provide slow immunity through the duration. So let's say you get slowed by a Nike ult. You pop this, it's going to immune you from that slow. However, if Sobek then ults you, you're not immune to that. You're going to get slowed again. So that's, you have to use that strategically. And it can be upgraded. Once you upgrade it, all allies hit by this effects are immune to basic attack slow penalty. So once you upgrade this, it gives you Fatalis, and all your allies in the area get Fatalis. So really cool. They focus on Fatalis a lot this patch too, and I'll spoil a little bit. Any god who had a built-in Fatalis in their kit was removed. Sol, when she would use Disapparate, how she got Fatalis? No more. Jingwei, when she used Agility, got Fatalis? No more. That's all gone. No more built-in Fatalis into kits. If you want Fatalis, you get to buy it, which is really cool. I like that. But they did buff Fatalis a little bit, so you'll actually be seeing that a little bit more. Magic Shell, previously known as Shell. However, the base protections received are decreased, the damage mitigation reduced, but when you upgrade it, protections given from 30 to 45, and mitigation buff increased from 5 to 10. So this is basically just nerfed overall. If you want to get the same protections, you do have to upgrade it, but once you upgrade it, you're not going to get as much mitigation as you used to. So Shell was kind of nerfed a little bit. Meditation Cloak. Meditation. For those who are used to the old ones, it's the same thing as before, just instant health and mana, but once you upgrade it, it provides your allies, yourself and allies, a buff of 40 mana per 5 seconds and 15 health per 5 seconds for 30 seconds. So this is going to heal you and give you more mana instantly, and then essentially give you more mana and health as time goes on for 30 seconds. Really cool. Excuse me, I like the update there. I'm loving these updates to relics. I love that you can, they made them actives kind of again, where you could have to buy multiple versions of the active. So I like that. Phantom Veil, which was relatively new to last season, was called Phantom. Visual and audio effects were changed. It removes the basic attack slow immunity, and it now applies 40% CC reduction in immunity to knockups to allies affected by it. So it's going to do the same effect where you can walk through walls, but it's going to give you knock-up immunity. So they got a Sobek and a Wheelix and a Bacchus. That's, or I don't know. Anyone who knocks up, you're gonna have a 40% CC reduction to that. And if you upgrade it, you get a 5-second boost on it. I'm gonna try to speed through these because I'm not even close to halfway done, and this video has been on for a long time. Purification beads are back. You can call them beads now. Upgraded, just reduces the cooldown by 30 seconds. Shield of Thorns, previously known as Thorns. Damage Reflect is increased by 10%, and once you upgrade it, it increases the duration by 3 seconds, and the cooldown is reduced. Hades. This is Hades right here. Pop Thorns going with your ult. You gotta steal a lot of that from Hades. Sunder gets an item change called Sundering Spear, and also a visual change as well as Thorns there. Updated audio. Protection and attack speed debuffs are removed. Instead, it now decreases damage taken by, or increases damage taken by the target by 30% for 5 seconds. So it's not an attack speed debuff, it's a damage debuff now. Or a damage increase to the enemy, I should say. And it can be upgraded. Once you upgrade it, it increases from 40 plus 14 per level to 60 to 20 per level, and cooldown decreases by 20 seconds. So you're going to see some Sunder, actually, some Sunder play. Pon was saying in the PTS when they were doing it, he ran it in solo lane a lot, first item, and just killed their solo laner earlier. If you have an early aggression solo laner like Vamana against like an Amaterasu, you can take advantage of that with a Sundering Spear. Teleport Glyph was previously known as Teleport. Of course, they changed it. I really like the way they changed all these images. They look so much better. It's just going to be hard to get used to. I'm going to see it and I'm going to be like, what is that again? Okay. But, I mean, they're similar. You can tell that's Thunder. You can tell that's Thorns. They didn't change it too much. Decreases the cooldown by 20 seconds, and once you upgraded it, it just decreased the cooldown even more. New relics. So these are the new relics. These are changes to the old ones. These are new ones. First one is Horrific Emblem. Using this item slows enemy gods within 55 units by 40% and reduces their attack speed. Lasts 5 seconds. Once you upgrade it, the cooldown is reduced by 30 seconds. So this was basically weakening Curse before, but it doesn't have the anti-healing. So they split Curse up into 2 different relics, basically. Bracer of Undoing. Brand new relic. Falls into the realm of Beads and Aegis. Okay, so using this item subtracts 3 seconds from all abilities currently on cooldown and restores 50% health and mana lost within the last 3 seconds. Can be upgraded, and the damage time increases by 2 seconds. So this is basically a meditation mixed with like a Chronos ult. I mean, if you're about to die, pop it. You get your health back. If you're in a 1v1 fight and it's coming down to the nitty gritty, you pop that and you're basically guaranteed to win the battle. because you're gonna get your health back. So that's gonna be I don't really like that. That's gonna be too much. We'll see how that plans out. Season 4 update. Okay, here come the item changes. Well, actually, what do we have here? Can now sort the store by crowd control reduction. Okay, so that's cool. New stat, penetration, can be found on items available to all gods. Appears proper to pen of your stats depending on your magical. Okay. Starter items. Bluestone Pendant. Decreased mana by 50, but added some mana per 5. Kind of balances it out. Boomba's Mask gets huge changes. It's 300 less gold now. Removed the mana per 5 you got. Added 50 health and 50 mana. Increased true damage on basic attack to jungle camps by 5. Increased ability damage by 15%. Removed gold sharing bonus. This is what I was saying. This is focusing junglers on staying in the jungle, and the reason it was reduced is because of that 30-second timer for the camps to spawn. And it adds 4 gold and 25 mana bonus per jungle camp kill. So you don't have to split the camps anymore. It's probably not even good you split them most of the time because you're not going to get bonus gold. And you actually get more gold when you kill the camp yourself. Death's Toll. Decreased its power by 5, increased health by 10, increased its passive heal by 2, and increased passive mana by 1. So overall, these are all getting balanced. They're getting nerfed and buffed at the same time. New item called Rangda's Mask. There we go. This is interesting. This is a super, super powerful item late game. And you have to really think, if you buy this and you get full stacks on it, it's so powerful that you almost don't want to sell it late game. Even though it's only 500 gold. It's a cheap item. It's basically a starter item. You're not going to want to sell it because all it does when you buy it, you just get 5 mana per 5. That's it. 500 gold, you get 5 mana. But each time you get an assist, you gain a stack. If you get a kill, you get 2 stacks. At 8 stacks, this item gives you 7% movement speed, 10% CDR. At 16 stacks, you get 15 penetration, 10% movement speed, and 15% CDR. They were saying in some test gameplay, Mercury was absolutely destroying with this item. I mean, ridiculous. So that's scary. You could see some Boomba's Mask and Rangda's Mask on some jungler starter items, especially Mercury. That'll be scary. Sands of Time, this is a new item. It's a hybrid utility by many mages and guardians. So, cost 800 gold, gives you 20 magical power, 5 mana per 5, 10% cooldown. This item grants 1 additional mana per 5 per 10% of your missing mana. So this is kind of like a Hydra's Lament passive, but this will be good on some mid laners. It's not always Soulstone or Vamp Shout now, because this will give you some extra mana, some CDR, and some power. So those gods with high CDR, they'll benefit from this. Soulstone, new passive. It buffs all abilities used after stacks are consumed for 3 seconds instead of only buffing one ability. Also removed 5 mana per 5 on stacks and restored mana when stacks are consumed. So you can't just hit with 5 basic attacks and sit there and wait for your mana to regenerate. You have to use the stacks. And it just overall kind of buffs it. Swift Wing, new starter item here. These are not final though. I don't know if that means the ability or the item itself or the art. But it costs 800 gold, gives you 100 health, 10 HP 5, 5% movement speed. Whenever you leave the fountain, you gain 40% bonus movement speed for 15 seconds. Now this can stack with Jingwei, keep that in mind, but you're going to be cut down by like 4 seconds. So this is interesting. They're really adding starter items. They said they wanted to make starts dynamic. They don't want just your typical, if you're a hunter, get Death's Toll. If you're ability-based hunter, get, start of Trance. If you're a jungler, get Bombas. They really want a variety of what you can do, and they're definitely doing that. You see all these starter items, so really, really cool. You'll probably see some Mercuries with this. I don't know, Mercury Soul Lane. I don't know how popular that is. I never really see it. Vamp Shout gets a really cool image change, and it adds 4% magical lifesteal. Very interesting. It's going to make that more useful. Rangda's Mask didn't... Specifically, if it's... Wait. Okay, I'm kind of confused on this one. I don't know. Cost 800 gold, 10 physical power, 100 health. Being in the range of a minion or jungle camp death without dealing a blow restores 5 health, 5 mana to allies. Also provides you with the stacking stuff. So I don't think they meant to put Rangda's Mask here. I think this is something else. So this will be another starter item. So for warriors, this would be a good starter item for you to get because you'll get the extra stuff for being in the camp. I don't know. We'll have to see what that is. I don't know if this is a typo or what. It has to be. Watcher's Gift. Adds 5 physical protection, 5 magical protection. Remove the HP 5. Its passive increases restoration from health from 7 to 12, 7 to 10. And gold from assist 4 to 5. So Watcher's Gift gets a really nice buff, actually. It's kind of... Actually, Watcher's Gift is basically Mark of the Vanguard and Watcher's Gift into one. I don't know if Mark of the Vanguard was removed. It didn't say it was removed, but they don't have it here, so I don't know. We'll have to see. Magical Lifesteal. We're finally on to items. We're almost halfway through, but this is going to go faster from now on. All the healing is basically buffed. Healers themselves get nerfs, and the healing items get buffed. That's essentially what it is, so this will allow me to speed through this. Cost increased. Magical power decreased, but lifesteal increased on the tiny trinket. Same with the tier 2 version of it. Lifesteal increased, cost increased. Polynomicon gets 2% more lifesteal. Divine Rune removed from this tree and is redesigned as a magical penetration item. So it's still in the game, just a different thing. We'll see that later. Pythagorean's Piece decreased by 100 gold. Now builds from Enchanted Trinket. Now adds 200 mana. New aura item. Allies within 70 units gain 50% magical lifesteal and 30% power, or 10% physical lifesteal and 20% physical power. So, Pythag's Piece, get it on Ares. Like I said, Ares is going to be decent with this update. You not only do you get aura items, so you get power just from having an aura item. You're going to get lifesteal, and you're going to help your team out no matter what they are, no matter if they're a hunter, mage, whatever. So, really cool. Talon Trinket, increased cost. Bancraft's Talon, magical lifesteal is decreased. Passive now adds 15 bonus % magical lifesteal scaling from missing health. So its base lifesteal is decreased, but this is a Freya buff, essentially. So that'll be interesting. Book of the Dead, not final. Again, I don't know if that's the image or the item itself. New mage lifesteal item. Costs 1,600 gold. Upgrade from Talon Trinket. So this is going to split off. Before it was just Talon Trinket, Bancroft's. This is going to be another one you can buy into it. Costs 1,600 gold, 3,000 total. So this whole item itself cost 3,000. It gives you 100 magical power, 15% lifesteal, 200 health, and if you deal damage to an enemy and are already at max health, you gain a health shield. The shield caps at 20% of your current HP and last. That is ridiculous. It is very expensive, but it gives you so much power. It gives you a lot of lifesteal. It gives you health, and it gives you a shield if you do damage and you're already at max health. That is crazy, but it can cap, so you can't just sit there and gain a whole blue bar of shield. But that is going to be a really good item. You'll probably, late game Freyas, you might see this. They might sell like a Bancroft's Talon and pick this up, maybe. So that'll be super interesting to see. Magical Penetration. Decreased cost on the Magic Focus, decreased cost on Enchanted Spear, and increase the cost on Obsidian Shard. So they're trying to make penetration more diverse. It's not just, oh, I'm a mage, I'm going to buy Obsidian Shard. They're trying to change it up. So Obsidian Shard gets a damage increase by a lot, actually, 250. And Divine Ruin now is, it's a part 2 of a tree, and we'll explain this. It costs 2,400 gold. Now upgrades from Enchanted Spear, so it's a branch off. You buy Magic Focus, Enchanted Spear, that can go into Obsidian Shard or Divine Ruin, so you can only get one of each. And you might be able to get both, I'm not sure. Now upgrades from Enchanted Spear, 80 magic power, and 15 magical penetration. So it isn't no longer lifesteal. It gives you 15 magic penetration and 80 magic power. Enemies hit by your abilities have 50% reduced healing and regeneration. So the passive stays the same, still does that anti-healing. Spear of Desolation. Again, they're trying to give you more penetration items. So you have, a whole lot of penetration items here. Well, 3, but it was Obsidian Shard before. So basically what everyone got. Decreases the cost by 1,100. Used to be 3,800, is now 2,700, but the magical power is decreased from 120 to 70. But it also adds 10% CDR, and it just has no passive. So this is a penetration item that actually gives CDR, which is really cool. That it's going to change up builds. This whole patch is revolved around making starts different. Everyone can choose their start, and making item buys different. Like you can do what suits your style, play what suits your god the best. This is so many changes. Ward Stone was removed from the tree and now built off Druid Stone, which we'll get into later. Void Stone, same thing. And here is Druid Stone. New magical power and protection. Druid Stone costs 700 gold, gives you 20 magic power, 20 magical protection. Stone of Binding, 1700, 20 power, 30 protection, 30 physical protection, 10% cooldown. Successfully hitting an enemy god with hard crowd control will place a buff on allies with 70 units. Buff provides 10 penetration. Sage's Stone. So these are all, none of these are final. These are all new stone trees. 1400 gold, 40 power, 20 protection. Stone of Fall, 2900 gold, 70 power, 40 protection, 10% CDR. Anytime deal more than 30% of your max health by a single magic ability, that damage instead is reduced to deal exactly 30% of your max health. My lord, I'm getting tired reading all of this stuff. Ward Stone, now built off Druid Stone item tree. Void Stone, same thing. Magical protection increased by 10. So the stones here are getting some love, basically. Celestial Legion Helm, 60 magical power, 30 physical protection, 20 MP5, new passive. Any god affected by your ability heals, gains 20% increased physical and magical power. So we'll see this on some healers now. More so than less, or before I should say. Jade's Emperor's Crown, 2150, 20 power, 60 physical protection, 100 health, new aura. Enemies within 55 hits of you have their physical power reduced by 30. Magical power and mana regen tree. Restored artifact gets a decreased cost, but also increased mana per 5. Chronos Pendant, 500 more gold than before. So you're not going to see this second, third item anymore. Decreases its magical power by 15. New passive. Every 10 seconds the pendant activates, subtracting 1 second from all abilities currently on cooldown. So you got to really use this strategically like a Changa. If you know your pass is about to tick, use your 1 and then basically use your 1 right after it's done. This is going to be a little insane on Changa and some low cooldown gods. Raw Tahiti gets an 80 gold increase, and its mana per 5 is increased by 15. So again, this is going to be standard on all mages practically. Healing, not the healing. The Soul Reaver tree, basically. Cost is decreased on the first. Magic power decreased as well. Increased cost on the second. Soul Reaver gets a 10 gold increase. Wow, okay. Good one, Smite. I don't know if that's supposed to be trolling or what. Magic power and health tree. Uncommon sash. Decrease its cost by 50, decrease magic power, and decrease health. Fortified Scepter. Cost 1350, 50 magic power, 150 health, 5% cooldown. Sorry, 5% crowd control. Gem of ISO now builds off Fortified Spectre. Removed mana adds 10% crowd control. So Gem also gives you crowd control now. Eternal Staff, 2700. Builds off Fortified Spectre as well. 90 power, 200 health, 20% crowd control. Your abilities deal bonus magical damage to enemy gods equal to 5% of their max health. This can affect once per god per ability. Rod of Healing gets a decrease in the aura by 5%. Added a second aura. If you're in combat, you provide 10% additional healing to allies within 70 units. So when you're in combat, you get more healing, basically. Rod of Ass Claps. Healing bonus reduced by 15%, but if you're in combat, it provides 20% healing within 70 units. Emerald Ring decreases its cost. Enchanted Ring, increased cost. Increased attack speed by 5%, however. And Demonic Grip, increased cost by 20 gold. And attack speed is reduced by 5%. So this is going to vary with the Telekind's Ring. Telekind's Ring is increased from 2125 to 2800. It increases magical power from 45 to 80, decreases attack speed, however. Removes the old passive, and the new passive now. Successfully hitting enemies or structures with basic attacks gives you a buff of 10 magical power. This buff stacks up to 5 times, lasts 5 seconds. Hey, what do you know? Freya, gonna take towers better. Basically what it is. Shaman's Ring costs 2400 gold, 40% magical power, 30% attack speed. Each basic attack that hits an enemy god heals you for 3% of your maximum health and mana per hit. So this is lifesteal. It's kind of like Death's Toll mixed with like attack speed and power, basically. Very interesting for magical. Physical items. Physical lifesteal. Remove the attack speed on Blunt Gauntlet. Bound Gauntlet, added 10% CCR, 75 mana. Soul Eater, costs 200 more gold, removes the attack speed, gives you 200 more mana, adds 20% CDR. Hitting an enemy god with a basic attack heals you for 3% of your maximum HP per hit. So Soul Eater is not stacking anymore. Mace, Titan's Bane tree, basically. Mace, 150 less. Sorry, 100 less. Warrior's Bane, 50 less. Titan's Bane is now 250 more gold. So Titan's Bane is going to be more expensive to get, which is good because that's a really strong item. Brawler's Beat Sick, 200 less gold. Its physical protection or physical penetration is decreased by 5, and healing reduction increased by 10%. So more healing reduction on brawlers. Crusher, 30 physical power, 15% attack speed, 15% penetration. It's no longer focused on hitting structures, but crushing them with abilities. Successfully hitting an enemy god with a basic attack will subtract 1 second from all your abilities currently on cooldown. So you're going to see this a lot more rather than just split pushing gods. So, Bastet and Loki. There are going to be more gods that can get Crusher and benefit from this because it does give you attack speed and penetration and power for a relatively decent price as well. And the passive's nice. Round Shield, less gold, less power. Spike Shield, less gold. Oh, by 10. Less gold by 10. Oh my gosh. Shield of Regrowth, removed from this tree, now built off Glowing Emerald. Gladiator Shield, new items. So like I said, there's so many new items here. Costs 1,700, gives you 25 physical power, 40 physical protections, 10% CDR. Anytime you hit an enemy god with ability, you are healed for 2% of your max health and mana. So like I said, you're noticing a theme, healing here. Healers get nerfed, you'll see that later, but all healing items kind of get buffs, and the new items heal you in some sort of way. So it'll be for interesting team fights. We'll see more team fights, I guess. I'm gonna kind of just skip through these because this is such a long patch notes. I'll try to read as much as I can. What I think I'm gonna do is read the main items. So like I'm not gonna go through these really because it's just reducing the cost. I'll go through the main final tier items. So Ancile increases cooldown reduced 30 seconds, or internal cooldown reduced 30 seconds. Now displays the persistent visual effects of the owner when off cooldown. Runeforged Hammer increases power by 10, and its new passive, enemies take 10% bonus damage from you if they are affected by any form of crowd control. That's a cool passive. Shillelagh? I don't know how to say that. Another new Celtic item. So these are all like Celtic items too, keep that in mind. Costs 1,500 gold, 10 power, 100 health, 100 mana. Yeah, decent item. Blackthorn Hammer, 2,300 gold, 30 physical power, 200 health, 200 mana. If you are reduced to below 30% health, all of your cooldowns are reduced by 3 seconds, and all of your abilities cost 0 mana to cast for the next 5 seconds. This can only be activated once every 60 seconds. So that's a really good item right there. A really good item. I'm going to be implementing that into a lot of my builds. That's really good, actually. That's physical. I was going to say that'd work well with Chang'e, but this is physical, so never mind. Aussie gets an increase, actually a decrease in cost by 30. Hunter's Bow, new item, I think. Yeah, this is new. Costs 1,500 gold, built off short bow, so you would build this into Odysseus and stuff like that. So this is another branch, and it gives you just 25% attack speed, so decent item. Silver Branch Bow, 1,700 gold, built off the Hunter's Bow again, so, okay, no, so this is tier 1, this is tier 2, and then this is going to be the final tier, okay. So the final tier of this, 1,700 gold, 10% physical penetration, 30% attacks. This is basically each of all. Okay, so they're just kind of changing each of all a little bit. New passive, every successful basic attack, attacks increase your physical power by 10 and reduces the magical power. Targets magic power from items by 10. Okay. Yeah, so this is kind of a, each of all changed a little bit. Masamune. 50 power, 100 health, 10% speed. For each enemy god within 55 units of you, you gain stacking buff that provides 5 magic protection and 5 physical protection stacked up to 5 times. Heartseeker. 300 gold increase. Added 10% physical penetration to it. Removed its old passive. So they changed Heartseeker's passive, and now they're changing it again like 2 weeks later. Or a month later, I don't know. Every successful basic attack gives you 1 stack of focus. At 5 stacks of focus, your next ability consumes it, and you'll do a bonus damage equal to 100% of your physical power for the first enemy god hit. So again, still a good item. You're going to build this on Arachne still. It's really good. Rage. 200 more gold, but it has a new passive. Earning a kill or assist fills you with rage, increasing your crit chance by 20%. This buff can stack up to 3 times in the last 5 seconds. So basically, you have to get an assist or a kill to get that extra 20% crit. So rage kind of gets a big nerf overall. Attack speed and crit chance. Okay. Wind Demon, 10% attack speed to it. Poison Star, 15% attack speeds to it. Basic right there. Ritual Dagger, previously known as Ritual Dagger. Well, that's the same thing. Its new passive, you gain 20% cooldown reduction on all your relics. Hasten Fatalis gives you 10 more penetration, but reduces its attack speed by 10%. Witchblade. And again, like I said, actually this does have a new aura. You can read these yourself if you want. But I just, for time's sake, Witchblade remove physical protection, add 200 health, add 10% movement speed, reduces physical power reduction with its aura, and its new passive, enemies hit by your basic attacks are cursed, receiving 15% reduced healing. So Witchblade is going to be a good anti-healing item as well. You could see a Witchblade and Brawler's Beatstick together combination, which is going to be ridiculous. So we'll see how that plays into, healing. The healing is a big thing in Season 4, I can tell. Spirit Robe gets an increase by 40 gold. Magi's Blessing increased by 100. Hide of the Urchin increased by 50. So all of the double robe items are all increased in health. Iron Mail changes some there. Breastplate of Valor, reduced physical protection by 10, but it gives you 10 mana per 5. Hide of the Nemean Lion reduces physical protection by 10, adds 20 mana per 5, and increased passive reflect by 5%. Spectral Armor gets a protection debuff, but adds 10 mana per 5 as well. Decreased CDR by 5%, and anytime you receive physical damage from a god, enemies within 30 units of you become feared for 1 second. This effect cannot happen more than once every 30 seconds. Really cool there. Really good to get out of sketchy situations. You could see that on Ares as well. Or any god with lack of escape. Sylvanas, Ares, stuff like that. Bulwark of Hope gets a damage or an increased cost by 25 gold. Talisman of the Relentless, new magical protection. Costs 2250, gives you 50 magical protection, 200 health, 20% CDR. Every time you are hit with a hard crowd control by an enemy god, you become more relentless, gaining stacks. If you have 3 stacks, the next hard CC ability you are hit with will make you CC immune for 1 second. So this is kind of Magi's Blessing, kind of, a little bit, but different, I think. Yeah, so kind of a version of that, I guess. Genji's Guard decreased magic protection by 10. Oni's Hunter Garb removed its old passive. Its new passive, when you deal damage to an enemy god, excuse me, if at least 2 other enemy gods are within 55 units of you, 15% mitigation for 5 seconds, can only occur once every 90 seconds. Twist on traditional aura. So new aura item, Shogun's Kusari, costs 2400, 60 magical protection, 20 MP5, 10% cooldown, 20% CDR. Allies within 70 units gain bonus attack speed by 15%. So you get magical protection, you get mana, you get CDR, you get crowd control reduction, and your allies get attack speed. Hello, Ares. Like, here's another Ares item for you. Health and HP 5. Stone of Gaia removes its old passive. So I haven't read this yet. Please change her. If you are hit with a knock-up or knockback, you are instead... Wait, what? This is weird. If you're hit with a knockback, you're instead enveloped by the earth, becoming CC immune. Okay, so another CC immune thing. I thought they were going to like do some crazy stuff with that. For 1 second, and regenerate 10% of your max health and mana over 5 seconds. Can only occur once every 90 seconds. So nope, this still helps Hercules. Shield of Regrowth removed its physical protections and removed its physical power. Instead, it adds 400 health, 10 mana per 5, 10 health per 5, and increased its CDR by 10%, and increases its passive movement speed buff by 5%. So you'll see this on some Guangs more, some Shocks. You're not going to get the penetration and power, but you're going to get a lot more health from it. And you get more CDR. So yeah, Shocks and Guangs, you're going to see that a lot on. Gauntlet of Thebes removed its old aura. Its new aura, the magical and physical protection of allies and units, are increased by 20. Really cool item there. That's more of a support item rather than a greedy item. So you probably won't see that on as many Hercules as you did before. And we're done with the items. Finally done with the items. We're on to the gods now. I'm going to slow down for this one because these are important. More or less than the items. Aphrodite increases her base health by a lot from 355 to 380 and increases the magical power scaling on her back off by 20%. So Aphro getting some love there. Apollo, so beautiful, removed the effect that caused successive enemies take 15% reduced damage, and his Across the Sky cooldown is 110 in all ranks. We'll nerf for Apollo. Bakasura getting a really, really good buff. His Regurgitate increases the slow. It used to be 15 to 35%. It is now 20 to 40%. Change the slow duration to be 4 seconds instead of applying only in the area. So if you get out of Bakasura's little Regurgitate, you're still slow. You're dead. You are dead. Basically, if Baka ults you and you don't have a Sanctuary and a Sprint, you're dead. Keep that in mind. And the Cone duration attack now gets a 1 second buff. Essentially, 1v1s, duels, ranked duels, Bakasura S+. He was already really good. Go watch Sam the Dude and all of his Bakasura gameplays and how he wins in under 10 minutes. Just make that even better now. So, I don't know how much effect it's going to have to Conquest and stuff, but this is going to affect ranked duels a lot. That'll be interesting to see. Chang'e getting some love. One of my favorite gods in the game. I literally screamed of joy when I saw this. I'm super hyped about this. Her Jade Rabbit increases the speed that it gets your items. It used to be 1.7% of player speed. It is now 3.5% of your speed, decreasing the trip time from 44 seconds to 34 seconds with boots in mid lane. So essentially, with boots, you're cutting down 10 seconds. Off the time it takes for Jade Rabbit to get there. Its Moonlit Waltz now doesn't have a setup time, which is really good. Well, I think it's really good as a Chang'e player. And its Moonflower Dance reduces the healing it does by 10%, but increases the damage it does by 20%. So you're going to be hitting harder, just not healing as much, which is good because Chang'e's heals are annoying. I will admit that. They're frustrating if you have to play against one, but they're fun when you're playing as one. But it's still going to be fun to basically one-shot people with your ult 1-3-1. Not just even more now with that. Chronos getting some nerfs here. Well, kind of. He gets a 5 base movement speed, but like I said before, he doesn't have that Fatalis effect once he activates Accelerate. But to compensate for that, they did give him 5 more base movement speed and 2 second reduced cooldown on Accelerate. So no more built-in Fatalis for Chronos, but that was kind of Chronos' key thing, was that. So we'll see how that does play into it. Erlingshin, his pin no longer cripples. It still roots them, it just doesn't cripple them anymore. So Erlingshin getting a nerf. Freya getting a nerf. Her base damage on Valkyrie's Discretion is nerfed. Basically, the late game it's the same with 240. Early game is less. So Guang Yu base healing is reduced and it decreases its boosted healing when you have your passive. Warrior's Will decrease the mana cost on it though. Slow reduction decreased. Boost slow reduction decreased. Its cavalry charge damage is increased, however. So Guang Yu getting some nerfs on his heal, but buffs on his damage, basically. Hell, getting some really... This is another one I'm excited for. I'm a healer and a support jungler, if you haven't noticed. I love assassins, I love supports, and I love healers. I love Hell. When I play Hell, I either go 20-2 or 1-10. There's no in between. There's no okay game with me in Hell. I either destroy or I get destroyed. So this will be interesting. I love the updates. She kind of got a rework. Not a rework, but a little different. We'll see. She gets a big base health increase from 345 to 380. Her DK and Restoration. Her Dark Stance. This ability now passes through hit targets, dealing damage, and explodes at max range or upon hitting a wall. Think of Nox's ultimate. You know how it just explodes on max range? Or when it hits a god, it passes through minions. So when you're Hell clearing your lane now, you don't have to use your 3 and get up in the minion wave and use it. You can just throw your 1 right through the minions. That's all. I'd be happy with that. The fact that I don't have to risk dying and getting into the minions to use my clear. I just got to throw an ability right through it. I'm happy with this. It's Light Stance. It no longer deals damage when you hit an enemy, though. So that's kind of a buff with that damage, but a nerf with that damage. So your light ability doesn't deal damage anymore. Instead, you can throw it at friendly gods, healing the friendly god and healing you. So you get an extra heal for your allies. You can throw it at them and heal them. You can switch your stance, pop your 3, heal them again. And you also get healed on the whole time. Keep that in mind. The light ally heal and the self heal. You see the bases there, plus 30%. Hinder and cleanse. CC immune increased by 0.25. Really good. I love that. That's a key ability with her. If you are a good Hell, you can basically make your team CC immune. The permanent beads is really good. So increasing that is going to just help her out. Her 3. Ability now heals smaller amounts every 1 second for 6-second duration. So it's not an instant heal anymore. It's more of like a Sylvanas type heal. That'll be interesting. You can't just heal up your team to full health because her heal is really strong. The light heal is scales 5 to 25 plus 5% scaling each second for 1 second. So at max, everything you're going to be doing, it's still decent heal. I think it's going to be relatively the same heal. It's just going to be tick heal. It's going to be hot heals rather than instant heals. Your switch stances. Mana per 5 now applies on both stances, but it's decreased. It used to be 15 to 35. It's now 5 to 25. Light stance now provides additional magical and physical protections. So when you're in your light stance, you still get your mana. It's just less mana, but now you get protections. When you're in your dark stance, you still get the power, but now you also get some mana. So they kind of even it all out. You get mana in both stances, but you get less mana in your light, but you still get protection. So overall, Hell gets buffed really, really nicely. I cannot wait to try her out, as well as Stranga. Hercules. New passive. Every time Hercules takes damage from gods, he gains 5 power, plus 1 multiplied by your level, stacking up to 3 times, lasting 5 seconds. So basically just do Hercules things and get in the middle of the fight and get more physical power. His Earthbreaker mana is decreased. It used to be 70 to 90. It's now 60 to 80. Mitigate wounds. Interesting here. When activated, Hercules heals himself instantly, and then heals himself again over the next 5 seconds. He also gains bonus magical and physical protections for the duration. So the initial heal scales from 75 to 175. So it's not a big heal, but your heal over time is 75 to 175, 15 to 20, or 15 to 35 per tick. So I don't know the old stats. I don't know if this is a buff or a nerf really, but you're going to get healed initially. So it's going to be better for Hercules essentially, I think. You get 10 to 50 protection scaling up, decrease the cooldown by 2 seconds, and decrease the mana cost to 60 at all ranks. So this is going to allow you, actually kind of force you to upgrade this second if you're like solo laning, or if you're doing like a support Herc, which I don't know why you would, or if you're just playing Clash, with Hercules, you can upgrade this first and just set up your teammates for days. Hunbat's getting a nice buff here. His Overhand Smash gets a 10% damage increase, and his Somersault Slow is reduced by 10% though. Jingwei getting nerfed. Oh, hey fam. Oh, bye fam. Decreased the health scaling, 78 to 72 per level. Decreased her base movement speed by 5%. Her rapid reincarnation, so her passive, is 1 second less time in the air. Her agility no longer provides Fatalis, and it used to be 75 at all ranks. It now scales from 75 to 55. So a little buff there, but overall a pretty nice nerf for Jingwei. Khepri getting some love, and I love me some Khepri. Increased base damage on Solar Flare. It used to be 40 to 200. It's now 50 to 250. Scarab's Blessing, however, increased the cooldown by 20 seconds. So less ultimate, but more damage. Medusa gets some love as well. Some really nice love. You might see some Medusa and some competitive actually with this. With a Jingwei nerf, Chronos nerf, Soul nerf, with the no longer Fatalis. You might see some Medusa here. Apollo getting a nerf. It increases the base damage on Lacerate. Used to be 80 to 240. It's now 80 to 280. And increases healing reduction. Used to be 10 to 50%. It's now 50% at all ranks. It's crazy. Petrify increases the damage on turned away targets. Used to be 50% to 75. So before, if you weren't really petrifying them and, it just wasn't doing that much. It still slowed them, but now it's going to do, a lot more damage. Naja increased the cooldown by 2 seconds on her ring toss. Decreased the cooldown, however, on her flaming spear. Used to be 18 seconds, now scales down to 18 to 14. Her sash decreased the cooldown to 14 all ranks. Nike getting some nerfs again. The bonus power on her passive decreased. Used to be 8 to 12%, is now 6 to 10. Her rend, 10% less on hits. Sentinel of Zeus decreased the power scaling by 10%. Nua's Clay Soldiers now do magical damage instead of physical damage. Ra gets some nerfs here. His decreased healing used to be 20 to 60 on his Solar Blessing. It is now 10 to 50. So So 10 less on each one. Decreases magical power by 5%, and now provides 10 to 30 magical and physical protections to allies, though. So the healing does less, but it gives them protections, which is really nice. Rama, increased cooldown on his rolling assault to 11 at all ranks. Serket, another one of my favorite gods, getting some love. Khepri got some love, Serket got some love, Chang'e got some love, Hel got some love. All my gods are getting some love, and I love it. I'm loving it. Increase the damage. It's her passive, basically. Increases damage from consuming 2 poisons by 5% and 3 poisons by 5% of the target's max health. So Serket's a very hard god, especially when you're utilizing her passive and the crits. With the poisons, so you're just going to be rewarded more for being able to actually successfully use that. Scotty gets a movement speed increased by 10. Calder's basic attack is reduced by 10% at each rank. And Permafrost now increases your movement speed by 15%. So gives Scotty more mobility and just less damage, basically. Soul, like I said, the Disapparate no longer gives you Fatalis, but it does increase the movement speed buff from 20 to 30 is now 20 to 40. So all the Fatalis removals on gods, they try to compensate by buffing them in some other way. So Soul and Chronos didn't get like nerfed, but they still got nerfed in a way. With that, Fatalis was key with them. And other gods too. I forget which ones there were. Sun Wukong, really cool. I like this. He gets some buffs. Sun Wukong is another one of my favorite soul laners with Nike and Vamana. Increases his health threshold from 35% to 40% on undefeated body. But no longer, this is his passive, by the way. No longer grants crit, thank God, which is one of the stupidest passives in the world. The Wukong with crit. Instead, it now provides 10 physical power plus 2 per level. So basically, his passive changed from crit to power, and it gives you more health threshold by 5%. Really like it. His ultimate now deals more damage. It was 140 to 340, is now 200 to 400. Susano increases physical damage scaling on his Wind Siphon by... Wow, okay. That's a huge buff from 25% to 60%. I must have missed that because I don't remember that. That's a big buff for Susano there. Jetstream, change the ability description to correctly indicate the actual damage. 20 to 80 is now 20 to 60. Change the physical damage scaling to correctly match the ability description. 35% to 30% per tick. Okay, so I guess it's nerfed and buffed at the same time. I don't play much Susano anymore, so I don't know how this is going to correlate. Typhoon now deals bonus damage the longer it charges, in addition to the base damage maxing out at 100 damage at all ranks. Sylvanas. His one now applies protection reductions when you hit an enemy god for 5 seconds on him, which is his stun, by the way. His Wisp decreased the base healing, used to be 25 to 45, is now 15 to 35. Decreased the magical power scaling on the healing by 5%. So they decreased the healing on him, but gave him some extra utilities in terms of countering the enemy god. So they nerfed the healing on the healers, but then they changed them in other ways to make them, still viable or more viable. Increased the base damage on Force of Nature. Used to be 60 to 220, is now 60 to 260. This is on Terra, of course. Monolith, base healing decreased. 5 to 25 used to be, is now 3 to 15, so pretty big nerf there. Terra's Blessing decreases the healing that you receive once it activates. Used to be 100 to 500, is now 100 to 300. Thoth, enemies no longer slows enemies hit by it, and now stuns them for 1 second. So Thoth getting some love there. That's a really good. Glyph of Pain increases ally basic attack bonus damage. Used to be 5 to 25, is now 10 to 30. Increased ally basic attack bonus damage, scaling from 5% to 10%. Its Final Judgment decreases the base damage 360 to 680, is now 360 to 640. Decreases the scaling by 20% and increases the cooldown by 15%. We are done with the patch notes. That was so long. Oh my gosh, guys, if you even stuck it out this long, thank you. I mean, look at this, is ridiculous. Oh my gosh, I am sorry. I know I skipped over some of the minor item changes, but there was just not enough time for that. This video is going to take long enough to render as it is. If you want to look into super in-depth, you can of course pause the video, but I will link the patch notes in the description per usual. You guys can actually look at that yourselves. So patch notes will be in the description. Social media links are in the description, guys. You should definitely follow me on them, especially Twitch. And thank you guys for watching this video. I hope you give it a thumbs up, you subscribe for more videos like this, like the patch notes. I try to do it every single time. This was a huge patch note, guys. I hope you're excited for Season 4, Smite, because I am super excited. I'm just super excited looking at Vamana, because that's a great visual update on Vamana. So thank you guys so much for the support, and until next time, I'll see you again soon.